If I would put myself into a comic book and I would come up with a character, or I would maybe something in between, like someone who is like an anti-hero, probably, fighting for the good, but with evil techniques, basically. So yeah, I think yeah. I like those type of characters.
Thank you so much for being here today. I really love your artwork, and I'm really excited that you're going to share with us your story and the inspiration behind your artwork. So thank you for joining us.
Hello, Elena, and yeah, thank you for inviting me on the show. I'm curious, and yeah, I can't wait to reply to all the questions. I hope my story is kind of interesting. So yeah, let's go.
I'm sure it is. So if you could share with the community your origin story.
Yeah, well, basically everything started when I was a child. I really can't remember a year in my life where I haven't been creating or making art. I guess my parents had like a pretty big influence on me. My father was into art as well, even though he's like he's a technical engineer, car engineer, basically. But he likes to draw and always gifted us comic books, usually like, I don't know if you know Asterix or Spirou and Fantasio, like those type of Franco-Belgian kind of books. And that, I don't know, like it inspired me and I wanted to do something similar as a kid. Then in school, art for me was just a way to escape boredom, kinda. I really didn't like math and yeah, like basically I didn't like anything there and just was drawing on the table and in the books and everywhere. Yeah, and that was just, just for fun. Like I was doing art just for fun all the time. And then after school, I was thinking about, okay, what should I do? Like, what kind of career should I approach? And to me, it was pretty clear from the very beginning that I have to do something where I'm better than the average, I would say, right? I mean, I could study other stuff that is interesting as well, but I wanted to be somewhere where I could be one of the best, kind of. And that was art because I've been putting a lot of time into it. So yeah. And that's when I started studying design here in Nuremberg in Germany, where I live. Yeah, I could pick, like I had 3D was one of the classes, illustration was like my main course basically, and UX design. And yeah, I finished my bachelor with a comic book. That was like my final exam, basically. That's pretty cool. And yeah, and then things just got more professional. I started to, look for jobs, worked at some advertising agencies where I could draw a little bit as well, but realized quite quickly that it's just not really fulfilling and I want to, do art only. And now, thanks to NFTs, basically, I could do that final step. I was already not working at the agency anymore because it was just, I don't know, I mean, money-wise, yeah, boring and just kind of like a waste of time. You want to really put all the time into one thing and not, try to survive with different types of jobs that are really not worth it. And yeah, that's how I got here, and yeah, that's how we met, probably, through art.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to ask you, villain or hero?
Villain or hero? Villain or hero? Like if I would put myself into a comic book and I would come up with a character, or I would maybe something in between, like someone who is like an anti-hero, probably, fighting for the good, but with evil techniques, basically. So yeah, I think that's yeah. I like those type of characters.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So when did you first get involved in crypto and NFTs, and what has this journey been like for you?
Everything for me started in December 2020 when my cousin approached me and talked about NFTs and mentioned them. That's the first time that I heard about it. And yeah, then we went on Discord session for, I don't know, like 5 or 6 hours and just talking. And I'm constantly asking questions like, what is it? I don't get it. Like, what's the purpose of it? I thought that NFTs are just for pure digital artists.
Yeah.
And back then I was basically just drawing on paper. And now things switched a bit, but I really wasn't sure if I fit into this type of community and the technology and everything. But yeah, we kept talking and he convinced me, basically. I think without him, I would not be here. So I'm really thankful that he kept going, because I'm also a person who's often skeptical about new technology. I'm not an early adopter, I would say. I had my phone super late, like I think 3 years after everyone else. So that was like, yeah, quite a struggle. But yeah, his name is Wretched Dreams, by the way, and he's also an NFT artist, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll get his
And
artwork
he's successful
out.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I got here. I think at the beginning, I also was interested in investing into crypto, but then with NFTs, it really had like a purpose, because I could like earn it and work for it and not just, put money into it. So that's way more interesting if you can, use it, kind of.
Yeah, sure. And enjoy it.
And enjoy it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've told us now that you're a comic book artist, and if you can tell us a bit about that project and how it's connected to your art and your NFTs.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Basically, I've been drawing a cyberpunk graphic novel before entering NFTs. When I entered NFTs in March, like on December, I got like this introduction, and then in March, I finally entered and got on Twitter and stuff. But before that, I basically finished a graphic novel that I've been working on like a year, basically. And now that graphic novel is the root, I would say, of my NFTs. So all the characters that I've minted so far are basically out of that universe that I've been developing and creating and designing. So my goal is that hopefully this year I can really finish it off, because right now I can maybe show you, I don't know if it looks good on camera, but I prepared something here. So
nice.
This is like, hold up. Yeah, this is like one page. I hope you can see, like, here's this building, and there's like a storm and tornadoes going on. Nice. So the pages right now look like this. They're penciled, but not inked, not colored. And I have to finish that off. But this year was like all focused on NFTs and really getting into it. And now I want to get back to the cyberpunk comic that is, yeah, as I said, like, it's basically finished. I just want to add more things and develop certain story arcs, but this is the foundation for my NFTs. So yeah, that's the
that's
comic.
Super cool. That's really nice. And like, are you going to color it digitally? Is that what you mean you're going to do?
Yeah. And I'm thinking of even doing the line art digitally as well. But I'm like a mixed media artist. Like, I'm always in between. I really like drawing on paper. It gives me a certain, I don't know, like, it reminds me of my childhood. It's like a comforting feeling. And it's very loose and free, and I don't, when I'm on the computer, I get distracted quickly. So on paper, really, just have the paper and work on there.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you have been quite successful in the NFT space with most of your art sold. What would you say is the secret to be successful in the NFT community?
Well, I don't know. What I do comes kind of naturally. Like I developed my way of, I would say, promoting and interacting during the past year. So that's something I think you just learn on the go. Like uh, every person's different. Everybody has like his own way of talking about his art and sharing his art. So I don't think people should try to force themselves to do or like see this whole thing as some sort of business algorithm type of system. I think you just have to be yourself first. That's when you become interesting as a person, and just act naturally on Twitter and like in interviews and everywhere. So I think that's the key, and to not look like a bot or something. But what's super important is to really become a part of the community, I think.
Yeah.
I know many artists who are very good, but they just drop their NFT and leave. Maybe they don't have the time or not the patience, or I don't know what it is, but they don't care for this whole thing and comes off as some sort of cash grab, I assume.
Yeah.
So I think collectors realize that, and they want people who stay here for a while. And that's why you really have to be online, support others, then they will support you. That's how it goes in life all the time. And that's how it goes in NFTs as well. So that's probably the most important thing. And yes, stay patient. Don't give up if success doesn't come instantly. Now it's way harder than it was in like February, March. But it's still, if you look around, we're still in a bubble. It's tiny. The NFT space is very tiny, even though we hype it up as if it's already mainstream. It is not. It really isn't. And yeah, we have a lot of time still. So don't worry and just get into it. Yeah.
So if you could talk to us a bit about this project and the inspiration behind it.
Okay, sure. Well, the artworks here are all collaboration artworks, basically. Like this one here was a collaboration with Rice, a group of Vietnamese artists who have their own collectible coming up. And they've been dropping like one-of-one collectibles. And the characters that I've been drawing here are basically the collectors of those collectibles. So I call it collectors of the future, and they, have certain elements that you will recognize in the original piece, and yeah, they all, like with all my artworks and also my one-of-one NFTs on Foundation. What really glues them together is always this world, the cyberpunk world. And when drawing and coming up with character design or ideas, I always imagine how the characters would act in that world, what they would do there, like what is their attitude, like just really think about how they would live in that cyberpunk world that I have in my head, basically. And yeah, these are the collectors. And if you like, with all my other artworks, if you look at the eyes, usually the characters are always kind of, they have like a certain, they don't care that much, I would say. They look a bit mad sometimes. I have like a resting bitch face, kind of. That's like what I always try to implement, because that world is a dystopian world. It's not a utopia. True. It's a dystopian world, and therefore the characters are always kind of depressed, and they just they have a very sad life, always locked into this big building. You can't leave it. You're always in there, and these characters should kind of capture that feeling. But yeah, this collaborative piece was with Super Nifty, who also dropped this collectible. And this piece right here was actually with an African artist who I met at the very beginning of my NFT journey. That was really nice, because we just met online on Twitter, and he asked, do you want to collaborate? And I was looking at his stuff, and he's also doing cyberpunk art, so it was obvious that our styles would fit quite well together. And he came up with his own kind of universe, and I just developed a character that fits in there. And yeah, it was kind of cool because we had these pieces ready in, I don't know, April or something, and I just minted it last month, I think, because he went through some struggles and stuff. So we were just holding in until the perfect moment arrived, and yeah, now they're listed. And yeah, all these pieces are edition NFTs. So my collaborative NFTs are editions, and my personal artworks, the one-of-ones on Foundation, yeah, they're single NFT.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like, it sounds so exciting. I don't know. I want to collect one of them.
Yeah,
It sounds
you
really
can get them.
exciting. Yeah, it sounds really exciting. Like even the concept that these are NFT collectors from your world, that's really exciting for me. So
yeah, actually, that's kind of funny because as I said, the comic book got developed before I entered the NFT space, and now I feel like I want to add certain characters or elements to it that pick up that crypto NFT space thing. So I really want to rewrite certain parts to reference the new development that I didn't know about when I was writing the comic book at the beginning. So yeah.
that would be so cool, actually.
I think so too. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay, so these artworks are the Hikenank artworks, the Hikenank NFTs that are on the Tezos blockchain. I really, yeah, it was a great time because when gas fees went extremely high in summer, and I mean the past days as well, like there's not a week where they aren't at a certain peak. Every artist was suddenly looking for a solution because we want to create art, and if we can't mint it, that's boring. We want to keep going, and therefore the Hikenank marketplace was a great opportunity because the Tezos blockchain is super cheap for minting, and that's where I dropped these artworks that are in a different style. They all are a bit older too. Like my NFTs usually are all new artworks that I made solely for the crypto space.
Yeah. So this is your main collection, which is on Foundation. If you could tell us a bit about it.
Sure. Yeah, like these characters here on Foundation, they are the ones that will reappear in the book. Some of them will just be in the background somewhere in a scene. Others will even have some dialogue and actually talk and play a role in the story. And others are just, getting shot or killed or stabbed. So that some just don't survive. And
I like it. It's very realistic in that aspect. So
yeah, you have to. Not everybody can survive the cyberpunk world. And yeah, they're animated. I try to not go too crazy on the animation. I like when certain elements move. So it's something that you could hang on the wall and not get super distracted with it. It's
true.
You have to look twice and to see if it's moving or not. So that's my approach with these characters. And I think it's cool for the collectors because once the graphic novel is out, they will be able to discover the NFTs they bought, and they will reappear there. So I think it's pretty nice. And basically, I also added like another layer to them. These NFTs right here, they're also like I'm selling them as prints.
Yeah.
But to make the animation visible, I added like a augmented reality feature. So you have the print, and then you can scan it with your phone. And then the characters come to life as they are visible in the NFT, in the NFT artwork. Yeah, it's kind of nice because, as I mentioned before, I'm usually like a traditional artist and just drawing on paper. But for NFTs, I thought the purpose of NFTs, or what makes NFTs so special, is that digital art suddenly becomes valuable, right? And the artworks that I've been creating before, they also exist on paper. So I thought, okay, it's kind of weird, you know, you have it on paper and then you scan it in and digitalize it, and then it suddenly becomes a digital file, but it's not really a digital artwork. So with the animation, my goal was to add a layer that is only visible on screens, only visible digitally. That's why the animation came into it in the first place. And yeah, I mean, now you can right click it and you can print it out, but it won't be the same artwork. That's what is the main purpose, or what really, you know, what changed my art style in a good way, I think. Yeah.
Like artists don't only influence like the NFT space, and the NFT space also influences artists. So that's really cool that you've shared that with us.
Yeah, a lot, because before that, doing animation is very time consuming. It's like probably double the amount of work now that I put into a character artwork like this. And before that, it just wasn't really worth it, I would say. Because for a NFT artwork like this, it takes me, I don't know, it can take like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks, like on and off working on it. And to just post it on Instagram is really a waste of time. I mean, it's just, and thanks to NFTs, I can experiment, try things out. And now I'm here with a completely different art style, a new technique. And I'm very thankful for that it's, And as you said, I mean, in the NFT space, you look around, you see other artists, what they're doing. And I just really love certain artworks and try to implement some elements into my own work. So yeah, that's how this got developed, basically.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, actually, I've had this question for like I don't know, a few weeks now. I'm thinking like, what is the metaverse? And I wanted to ask my next guest, like, what does the metaverse mean to you?
Yeah, I think the final goal of the metaverse would be to have a Ready Player One type of world, where people live like they have a digital life that feels real and is immersive. Right now we're clicking and typing, but that's not really, it doesn't feel real. And I think what the metaverse wants to be one day is to kind of maybe even get rid of the real life and instead have a virtual digital life. I'm a gamer myself. I really like playing different characters and being able to do things that are just impossible in our world, like being a superhero or whatever, or having infinite lives and just die over and over again, and it doesn't matter. So that's cool about the virtual world. And I think one day we will have like some things we can already see in development. For example, the Sandbox project is quite interesting, I would say, where you can buy land and then build your house on there. And I guess one day we will have our own virtual house, our own car, and I don't know, it will be like a big digital earth. That to me is the metaverse. And then things will be connected, like, for example, NFTs. NFTs will be way more interesting in there. Because right now, of course, NFTs are nice for people who know about NFTs, but everybody else can still, I mean, you can right click and screenshot an artwork and hang it on the wall, and it's still an artwork on the walls. So for many people, it doesn't make a difference as it does for us. So I think once the metaverse is there and you have a digital house and you can only place the drawing on the wall if you own the NFT, then it gets, I think, way more interesting and adds even more value to it. So yeah, I mean, right now things are super early, as I mentioned before. I mean, if you look at most like these virtual galleries or other lands, they look pretty terrible. Like
you can't, most of the times you can't even get into them. Like
you
it's
can't get
so
into
like,
them.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like laggy and not
yeah,
working,
laggy.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't feel real at all.
Mhm.
And yeah, like as a gamer, I know what's possible nowadays. I know what games can achieve, and they can look very realistic. But
Yeah.
right now, it doesn't look realistic at all, and it's yeah, that's super early. So I think Metaverse is something that we will really experience in maybe 5 years. I really don't see it happening in the near future, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm preparing for it.
Yeah, we should prepare now, but yeah, it takes a while, I think.
Yeah. So give us an interesting fact that about you that not many people know in the NFT community.
Hmm. Oh man, I don't know if I'm that interesting, but I know like a fun fact is maybe that I love drawing smoke, and basically all my characters are smoking or whatever, and I don't smoke at all. So I guess maybe I live that fantasy in my artworks, and yeah, I don't know, but that's something. Yeah, I really
Okay,
never
cool.
smoke, so yeah.
Okay, so is there one moment in your NFT journey that you would want to relive?
Mm, I think every artist really loves, when you get a bid on foundation, that's like a drug, basically. It feels really nice. And if there is a bid war going on, that's super intense. It's very stressful, but I would like to relive that anytime. So that's super cool to see really people caring about your work. It hits different. Um, and some things, for example, there was this, I don't know if you heard about any metas, this
Yeah.
collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't forget that night when they got revealed, when the collectible got revealed. It was like my first collectible, and from many of my friends as well. So we were all online chatting and sending like the NFT we got and comparing them, and we were all awake all night. Like really, I think it was on a Sunday, and I didn't sleep until Monday. And we were constantly sending stuff from the secondary market and check this out, check this out. It went on all night, and there was really like kind of a bonding experience between all these NFT friends. So it was nice. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. So let's say you could time travel, but the drawback is that you could only go back 12 months. And you haven't started yet with NFTs. What would you say to yourself 12 months ago?
Mm, fix your sleep schedule. I think I will tell myself that. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I think it's important to realize that, yeah, as I mentioned a couple of times, many people are stressed here in this space, and some burned out, and some even stopped creating because they created too much in a short period of time, worked too much. And I do believe that we need to share, or we need to get rid of this toxic work ethic, or like this, you have to hustle and grind, and if you don't, you're out basically, and you don't belong here. I think that's a really bad approach, and especially with art needs time, and everybody works in his own pace, and doesn't need to look left and right all the time. And I would probably tell myself that as well, because there were some months that were, yeah, I didn't have like a social life and didn't see friends for weeks, and that's not good. Like never do that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's an
true.
advice for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So, what should the NFT community expect from you and NFT collectors to bring out in the future?
Well, as I mentioned, the comic book will be the final goal, or like the big next goal. It will be the end, of course, but it will be the next step. That will take a while. I hope I can finish it this week, this year, not this week. And besides that, I'm really thinking about doing a collectible drop as well.
Nice.
So those are like the two things, the two big projects I have in mind. But besides that, what the community can expect is that I'm staying here and I will support and help others as much as I can. Yeah, so I really want to, yeah, I'm here and the NFT community is amazing. So I want to, you know, help out and be part of it as long as I can. Yeah. I would just call it like my, like I called my new series. And we just called Electro District.
Nice.
What do you think?
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Just leave it.
Just leave him
leave
there.
it like that. Oh, so cute. Okay.
So cute.
Yeah, so tiny. Well, I would describe the world, of course, a very dystopian, dark, lifeless place. A lot of aggression and crime happening. People are obsessed with technology and really lose humanity, basically. They just drown in technology. That's how I would describe the world. A very lovely place. Yeah.
Where do you want it on the map?
The top right, I can see. I think that's vintage Mozart, right?
Yeah, that's vintage Mozart.
Yeah.
The other one
Yeah,
under
then
is
I would like to get next to him because I know him and we chat sometimes. Yeah, that would be nice. And it's dark there as well. So yeah, that's cool. Exactly.
Should we go like in between these two?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's Noe.
Nice.
The one under is Noe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Else. Do you know him? He's
The
like a photographer. Yeah.
Yes.
He's like super cool.
He's super cool and super good at what he does. Yeah, I know him as well.
He's pretty good.
Cool.
And he actually chose his world that it doesn't have any people. So it's like,
oh no. Oh no, that's even sadder. I thought my world is the sad place, but that's like, oh god. Okay, well, just cities, empty cities and landscapes. Okay, well, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Andre. It was really, really nice meeting you and for coming on the show and sharing with us your passion and your artwork and your comic book projects.
It was a pleasure. Like, really, thank you for having me. I think it's the first interview that I did with the webcam, so quite exciting. And yeah, I can't wait to see it online. Well, I'm not even sure what I said the past 45 minutes or whatever, so I'm curious. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.